Happy Thanksgiving. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking Superintelligence, the brand new Melissa McCarthy film. I need you in the comments down below. Are you watching this today on HBO Max? Are you looking forward to it? Let's do it. So, when an all-powerful superintelligence chooses to study the most average person on Earth, Carol Peters, the fate of the world hangs in the balance. So you have this artificial intelligence that has decided to enslave, save, or destroy humanity. 3 options. And, of course, he chooses Melissa McCarthy's character as kind of the guinea pig here. It's up to her to prove that people are actually worth saving. Now, what this AI does is he takes the voice, he takes the look of James Corden. Essentially, whoever that person that he's dealing with favors the most when it comes to celebrity. At one point, he's Adam Levine. At one point, he's Octavia Spencer. But for Melissa McCarthy's sake, he's James Corden. So you have the voice of James Corden, and you have him occasionally appearing on screen. And, you know, I think James Corden's pretty funny sometimes, so it was kind of nice to see that. And then you have this crazy, convoluted storyline of Melissa McCarthy going on all of these mini adventures, doing all of these things, falling in love, finding this, going here, talking to the president, saving the world. And this comes to us from Ben Falcone, who is married to Melissa McCarthy. He has directed Tammy, The Boss, Life of the Party, and now Superintelligence with Melissa McCarthy. I am not a fan of really any of those movies, and it's unfortunate because Melissa McCarthy is someone that I look at and I say, she's really good when she's really good. Something like Can You Ever Forgive Me, which I thought was fantastic. Bridesmaids, she's awesome. But when she falls back into a movie like this, and every movie directed by Ben Falcone, yes, but also, I mean, there are numerous comedies where she just, it doesn't feel like she cares as much, and she wasn't horrible in this movie at all. I actually thought she was okay. But the film itself had absolutely no clue what it wanted to be. And there are so many questions I have about not only character decisions in this movie, but what was the point of the entire thing in the first place? Why was Superintelligence such a good idea that they felt as if they had to make this into a movie? Because I had so many questions. And I know, it's a silly comedy, it's a cheesy comedy, we're not supposed to think this hard, but when I'm not laughing, I have no choice but to kind of dissect what I'm watching. And I was at a certain spot with my score when this movie ended. But the more I have thought about it, the more I just feel almost upset with the lack of cohesion with the plot. Almost upset with not acknowledging certain very simple things like, okay, there is this global blackout, right? Because of a solar flare. And for some reason, the artificial intelligence is happening at the same time. So in the midst of this global blackout, which has been happening over the past few days, one of our characters decides to get on a plane and go on this around-the-world trip while all of this is happening. So he's clearly oblivious to the fact that this is happening. And also, why are there planes in the air during a giant blackout? It's things like this that happen all throughout this movie. I'm like, why is this happening? Why did it go from a full-on sci-fi movie to a fast-paced action-adventure film to almost entirely a romantic comedy, and then back to the sci-fi, and then almost this Independence Day war movie feeling because you have everyone gathered in this room along with the president and all of the secretaries, and for some reason this random guy that worked for Microsoft that discovered this entire thing, but they're like, yeah, come on, man, you can help us out. And they're trying to figure everything out, but Melissa McCarthy, I mean, she's the key to this entire thing. It all revolves around her, and of course, it does come down to the decisions that she makes as a human being, and I like the idea of the message. It's just the execution is so sloppy. But again, this is, I guess, at its core, a comedy over everything else. And a couple moments where I chuckled, a couple moments where I'm giggling, and a lot of that has to do with Melissa McCarthy. And then there were points where James Corden, he'll say something that's kind of funny, but it's just so back and forth in terms of what it wants to be. Too many genres, too many ideas, too many unanswered questions, too many dumb decisions from characters. Brian Tyree Henry doesn't really get a lot to do. Bobby Cannavale is good, but again, he's just so oblivious to literally everything happening in the world. Everything. And oblivious to the fact that Melissa McCarthy she's pulling some strings and she's wanting certain things to happen, and he's just so dead set on what he's doing. He's going to travel the world during a global blackout because that's the wise decision. And that's the thing, the solar flares, the blackout, the extra characters, the full-on sci-fi feel over here, the romance over here. We're just having to deal with a lot. We're having to juggle a lot while watching. And that shouldn't be the case with what feels like a simple comedy or even a simple rom-com at its core. The movie is just way too messy for me. So again, there is fun to be had with Superintelligence, especially if you just want to turn your brain off, not dissect it, not care what's going on. Then I think, you may get something out of this movie. But in terms of what I was looking for in Superintelligence, which was cohesion, I didn't quite get that. So as for my score, before I give you that, appreciate you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this review and you want to leave a thumbs up, that would be awesome. Stay tuned. More things tomorrow. Going to 30% for Superintelligence. Unfortunate, that's a low score, but I just felt like this film was a huge swing and a miss. There's a baseball reference, because possibly a famous baseball player in this movie. So there's another thing they put in the film. Appreciate you guys for watching big time. Stay tuned, like I said, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone who is giving thanks and eating turkey. All right, I'll see you soon.